So back to rare breed triggers. So if you guys remember a week or so, 2 weeks ago now, rare breed quote unquote won the lawsuit with the ATF and some
Big
different
W.
courts. Well, kind of. So now they have the pleasure of being the sole seller of FRTs because they own several patents, and their deal with the ATF basically is that they have to enforce those copyrights on all other sellers of FRTs. Now, what this means is not just FRTs specifically, but also super safeties that are being sold everywhere. Those are all under patent by Rare Breed, according to Rare Breed, because they have
Alpha. Is that fucking with
not that ones? Because that's not because that's the AKs are different. So the AKs are not affected by.
I was hoping
so
those guys weren't getting fucked with. That's all. No, like those guys.
As far as I know, no patent really exists for the AK one yet. So the first person to actually get that then can screw everybody over. But the point being right now is that Rare Breed has been known to be very litigious and send out cease and desist to most of the 3D printer guys, Hoffman Tactical. A lot of the big guys in the space have gotten sued or threatened to be sued by Rare Breed for violating their patent law, for violating their
mega
copyright,
gay,
which is very gay. But at the same time, according to people that I've talked to in that industry who have been attempted to be sued by Rare Breed, when they talk to copyright lawyers, it's so vague and the costs are so high going to court over these things that it's not really worth it to fight to maybe win, maybe lose. It's like a 50-50 shot, and you're going to be spending $100,000+ to do it. So nobody's actually taken Rare Breed to court on this over the super safeties. Rare Breed is essentially saying, I have a lot of money. I own this patent, which we think covers your product, even though, again, it's kind of nebulous. Right. And some people would say it doesn't on paper, but then the lawyers are like, well, maybe it does actually. And remember, this comes down to a single judge deciding whether it does or does not. So
and I'm
are
sure
you going to pony up?
DOJ would never lean on the judge to get a favorable ruling.
Well, and again, so basically with the deal with the ATF, it is very strange because it essentially makes Rare Breed the only manufacturer of triggers. And it makes Rare Breed have to do the ATF's job and enforce their own copyright on all these other FRT and super safety dealers. And there are a lot of them. I mean, there's many hundreds of thousands of them have been sold because they're cheap, easy to make. You can get a metal one for like $99. So now, also very interesting, the Rare Breed trigger is back up, out of stock, of course, but it is the FRT 15L3. Now, if you remember, Delta Team Tactical sent out a lot of those to a lot of people because those were made by, what did they say? They said it was some other company was making them.
Was it ABC or something?
No. So it was just called FRT triggers. That's what Delta Team Tactical was claiming that they're made. In fact, I have one in my closet right now. I have one of the 3-position safeties. However, Rare Breed, while they were being sued by the ATF and all these other places, they just continued to manufacture them. And they sold them under a different name through Delta Team Tactical. And it was still ABC IP LLC is the name of the company that owns the Rare Breed patents and all that stuff. So it literally was just them selling their exact same trigger on Delta Team Tactical's website. There was some sort of backdoor deal with one of the original owners of Rare Breed. So while they were in court getting sued and couldn't sell Rare Breed triggers, they were actively selling Rare Breed triggers. And I'm not sure how that factors into any of their lawsuits, but they got away with it because they were able to sell it the entire time. And since then, they're pulled from Delta Team Tactical and now just back up on their own website. So this is the trigger that I have, even though it was sold by Delta Team Tactical as a FRT trigger, or FRT triggers, it was just Rare Breed. Rare Breed was making these the entire time and selling them through a shell company, essentially.
So they were in violation of their court injunction?
That's what it would appear to be.
Allegedly.
Ended up winning the case.
That's a big allegedly, Chad.
Yeah. But so they got away with it though, because they won the case. And now they literally just copy and pasted from the other company back onto their own website. So they are.
So I think the worst part about it is they didn't even win. The DOJ just quit, right? It's not like they won the lawsuit and set precedent.
Right. Well, so that's another thing too, is the DOJ will abandon cases if they don't feel like they can win. And so the terms of their agreement is that Rare Breed now has to enforce their patent law against everyone. So essentially what the DOJ did was, hey, they were going to say, hey, we're going to lose this case. So instead of losing it, we'll let Rare Breed make the triggers, and then we will just make sure that they put everybody else out of business. And then if at some point in the future we need to raid Rare Breed, we'll just do that and take all the customer information again.
Yeah, and
We'll
that's
just do that again.
That was another
Run it
thing that I
back.
wanted to touch on while we are covering this. As we've seen, Leviathan Defense is still advertising the WOT on their Instagram. And Performance Triggers has all the different ones, and that is also the McKnight's BDU. Same people, right? So they've already lost once to Rare Breed. What's the chances that they're going to win if it goes to court again now that the DOJ is on the side of Rare Breed?
I mean, I don't think it's possible. I don't know how they're getting away with selling those. That's wild. PX 1061 for 5 says Rare Breed should just license the patent to everyone. No matter who makes the trigger, they get paid for everyone. Again, Rare Breed's agreement with the ATF, DOJ, all these people, is that they will enforce their copyright against everyone. So they will quite literally not do that. They will not license out the patent. They will send you a cease and desist and sue you. That is what they are going to do. That is their literal agreement.
And then they will just take the money that you made. They'll let you do that for a little while, and then they'll just take the money that you made and your customer records.
Well, because remember, he won. So the way that Rare Breed got the patents in the first place was by winning a lawsuit against a former business partner, and then he won the IPs and like $1 million in the lawsuit. So that's how he came into acquiring all of the patents and everything, basically. McLeod 2486 for 5 says if Rare Breed was smart, they would go to court for the patent lawsuit, then take a dive. But again, that's not what they're going to do. They are going to take you to court for a patent lawsuit, win because they have more money, and then continue to profit. That is the plan for Rare Breed. So Rare Breed will have a pseudo monopoly on the market. Now, you're still going to be able to find FRTs and super safeties from other places, but eventually, if they get big enough, Rare Breed will just send them a cease and desist and say, hey, you got to stop doing this. Otherwise, we will take you to court. That is exactly what they do. So, and I've had Lawrence on the show, and he was very nice. Told a lot of funny stories about the Alex character, who has moved on to start his own FRT company that's dealing with AK FRTs, because again, Rare Breed does not have a patent on AK FRTs, so that's still kind of open waters as far as that market goes. But for super safeties and FRTs, Rare Breed will most likely try to sue you at some point if you are in the manufacturing game.